is Busby the bee. She lives in a hive with all of her bee friends, and every day she flies out into the meadow to collect pollen and bring it back to the hive so they can make honey. All of the bees in the hive are really good at this except for Busby. You see, Busby doesn't like collecting pollen. Instead, she likes to paint the flowers. With all of her bee friends off collecting pollen, Busby would fly from flower to flower, dipping her little bee wings in colorful paints and creating beautiful works of art. Now, Busby was very good at painting, but the other bees weren't very good at collecting pollen. In fact, they were terrible at it. So their honey stash started to get pretty low. One day the queen bee called all of the bees together. "We're running out of honey," she said, "and if we don't have any more honey, we won't survive." "But it's too late now," said one of the bees. "It's the middle of summer and all the plants are in full bloom. There's so much pollen outside. We should be able to gather lots of it." The queen looked out the window and sighed. "I wish something would change." Just then, a wise old bee named Barry spoke up. "I think I know what we can do. Let's ask Busby for help." All the bees gasped. "You want me to collect pollen?" asked Busby. "You know I can't collect pollen. My wings aren't for collecting pollen. They're for painting flowers." "Oh, but Busby," said the queen bee, "we need your help. If you could just collect a little bit of pollen, it would make all the difference." Busby knew her bee friends really needed her help, but she didn't want to give up her favorite thing to do, painting the flowers. "Is there any way I can help and still get to paint?" she asked. The queen bee had an idea. "Why don't you paint the flowers with pollen instead of paint? That way you can use your wings to collect pollen and we can still have beautiful flowers." Busby thought for a moment. "Well, that sounds like fun," she said. "But what if the flowers don't like being painted with pollen? They might not like how it looks or feels." "Oh, I'm sure they'll love it," said the queen bee. "Now go on, Busby, you start painting." Busby wasn't so sure the flowers would like it, but she wanted to help her friends, so she flew off to find some flowers to paint. When she got to the meadow, Busby dipped her wings in yellow pollen and swooped down to paint a dandelion. As she painted, she hummed a happy tune, feeling good about helping her friends. But when she finished painting the dandelion, she saw that it didn't look so good. The yellow pollen stuck to the white petals, making them look dirty and dark. Busby felt sad. Maybe her friends were right. Maybe she couldn't help. Just then, she heard a little giggle. "What?" asked Busby. A tiny ladybug crawled out from under a leaf. "Why are you painting the flowers, Busby?" she asked. "I'm trying to help my friends," said Busby, "but I don't know. I don't think they're gonna like it." "They will if I help," said the ladybug. And before Busby could say anything, the ladybug grabbed a twig and started painting alongside Busby. Together, they painted the dandelions, the clover, and even the tall grasses. The meadow looked even more beautiful than it did before, and Busby's heart felt full of joy. Soon, all of the bees arrived, each one holding a different color of pollen. Busby and the ladybug welcomed them. "We're going to paint all these flowers," said Barry, the wise old bee. "Will the flowers be okay?" asked one of the younger bees. "Oh, yes," said Barry. "Busby's going to paint them, and I'm sure they'll love it." And indeed, The flowers seemed to love being painted with pollen. They all looked so beautiful, and the bees loved seeing them this way. One bee noticed that the sky was getting dark. "Oh," he said, "looks like it's going to storm." All the bees panicked. "The flowers will get washed away," cried one. "All our hard work will be ruined," cried another. But Barry remained calm. "Don't worry," he said. "There's nothing we can do about the storm. But I'm sure the flowers will be fine. After all, they're made of stronger stuff than that." But the young bee shook his head. "No, Barry, you're wrong. These flowers are wilting. They're so thirsty. Without rain, they'll die." Barry sighed. He wished he had some way to save the flowers, but he didn't. As the storm clouds gathered overhead, the bees watched in sadness as the rain poured down. It felt like it would never stop. Soon, the meadow was soaked and the flowers drooped even lower. The bees huddled together, feeling helpless. "I wish I could bring back the sunshine," said one. "I wish I could stop the rain," said another. "I wish I could do something," said a third. Then he looked at Busby. She hadn't said a word the whole time. "Maybe she has an idea," he said. "Busby, do you know how to stop the rain?" asked the bee. Busby thought for a moment. "I don't know," she said, "but I do know how to make the flowers happy." The bees looked confused. "How can we stop the rain if we can't even bring back the sun?" asked one. "Because when the flowers are happy," said Busby, "they send out their roots to find water. And water is what stops the rain." The bees thought this might just work. "Okay, Busby," said the queen bee, "paint the flowers." And that's exactly what Busby did. She dipped her wings in pollen and swooped from flower to flower, painting them until every single one was a beautiful new color. The bees helped her paint, and soon the entire meadow was a beautiful sight to see. As they painted, the flowers began to perk up. Their petals opened wide and they reached up toward the sky. Then something amazing happened. The flowers glowed. They glowed a soft, beautiful yellow, like the sun was shining through them. The bees and Busby watched in amazement as the clouds above them began to part. A tiny ray of sunshine peeked through and then another. Soon, the entire meadow was filled with warm sunshine and the gentle pitter-patter of rain. The rain wasn't so strong anymore. It was just a light drizzle. And after a while, it stopped completely. The sky was blue again, and a big, beautiful rainbow arched across the clouds. All the bees cheered, buzzing with joy. The flowers swayed happily in the gentle breeze, and Busby felt a warm glow inside. She was so happy to see the meadow so beautiful, especially after the storm. She looked over at the other bees. They were all smiling, and even the queen bee was smiling. "Thank you, Busby," she said. "You saved our honey and you made the meadow even more beautiful than it was before." Then all the bees joined together and sang, "Hooray, hooray, for Busby the bee, who saved the day with her beautiful art. She showed us all that we can be happy and free, with a paintbrush in hand and a song in our heart." And that's exactly what they did. Busby and all of her bee friends. They painted the meadow, they sang happy songs, and they lived in peace and harmony, knowing that no matter what problems they faced, as long as they had each other and their beautiful art, everything was going to be okay. The end. Do you have a special gift that you're afraid to share with the world? What is it? And how can you use it to help others? The end.